Okay, welcome to a wayward widow's path. I changed my picture. I changed my background picture. Excuse me. And I threw the word path at the end, took off the word the, put on the word a, because I am a wayward widow. And this is my path. It's not my journey. It's the way that I'm walking. It's the direction I'm walking. It took me, got my coffee. I just had to doctor it up a little bit. It took me about 2 days to figure out what I wanted to say in this video, how I wanted to present some news. I didn't want to present news in the beginning of a video and then just talk about the regular gem art kind of things. I didn't want to talk about gem art and then say, oh, by the way, at the end of the video. But what I wanted to do is talk to you about what's happening in my life and where I'm at, and share all of the everything around it, because there's a story. It's not just, oh, there's news. There's a story. Some of you that are over on Messenger already know this. I haven't been over on Messenger for more than a day. There's a lot going on here, a lot of thinking, a lot of figuring things out, a lot of things to do. I'm doing a lot of meditation and a lot of walking, a lot of exercising to tone my body, a lot of working on me. But you know, I want to share this part of the story because it's as important as Sky's passing. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Poet. My partner of 14 years, almost 14 years, passed away in February. His name was Sky, is Sky. He is Sky. And he was my greatest teacher, still is my greatest teacher. He's still with me all the time. This morning, I took a walk around the lake, 3 laps around the lake, over 5,500 steps. I'm averaging about 7,000 steps a day, and I'm hoping to get up to like 10,000 at some point. But anyway, let me fix this. When I was walking, I got to the lilac bush where I have some of his ashes. And I said that there were some leaves on the lilac bush, which is pretty much unheard of for October, November in the state of Pennsylvania. That's a bush here that blooms in like April. This morning as I walked, there's a flower. There's a small lilac flower. It's like this big. And I just stopped in my tracks. It just stopped me. It's so beautiful. I took a picture of it. I have it in my phone. I will get it printed out on Shutterfly. And I could feel Sky there, like through every ounce of my body. Like him saying that he's so happy that love is in bloom, that life is in bloom, in going into the coldest, most silent time of the year. It's interesting how this time of year that's so silent and so cold and all the leaves fall and everything seems dead. It's the time of year where we do the most celebrating, the most getting together, the most joy, the most love, the most giving. We become the most giving this time of year. And so there he was with his lilac flower. When we were together, he bought me a ring. It wasn't an anything ring. It wasn't like, oh, we're engaged or anything. It was a ring that has my name and his name inscribed in it, and you can spin the middle. And I could not get it over my knuckle on any of my fingers. And so I have it in my jewelry tray. And then he got me another ring Again, the same thing, could not get it over my knuckles, so we had it sized, and then it was too big, and then it was too small. Anyway, when we got married, we never got like engaged. There was never a time of engagement. It was, should we get married? Do you want to get married? And we did at a Zen center in 2014. And so there wasn't a big engagement thing, but there was a lot of love around that ceremony prior to. On Facebook, with my Facebook, I was big on Facebook in 2014, 2013, 2012. I was homeschooling my son. I was in with some groups, mothers of incarcerated sons and all that kind of stuff. And I had a lot of friends on Facebook. I talked to so many women. And one woman, her name is, let me think. Her and I haven't talked in forever. Give me a second, it'll come to me. She made me, she lives down south, and she made me flowers for my wrist and flowers for my hair. And she crocheted them. And her and I haven't spoken now in a while. I know she was ill. And now I'm just thinking so hard on her. Now I've got to find her. Anyway. We got married, and the day that Sky died, that night I took his wedding ring off and I put my wedding ring with it, and I have it in a drawer. We had 13 and a half years of teaching and learning. And he said to me many times before he died, I don't want you to be alone. I'm afraid for you to be alone. I don't want to leave you. I don't want to leave you alone. He said, I'm going to come back and I'm going to check on you often. You're going to know when I'm there. Like, I'm going to make it really obvious, you know. He said it in different words, but that was the gist of it. I'm going to make it really obvious. I'm going to watch you. I'm going to make sure you're okay. Any way that I can come back to you, I'm going to come back. But he said, oh, the sun just went in. Sun just got covered. Sun never goes in. Sun just got covered. He said, but I don't want you alone. I don't want you to sit alone crying. I don't want you to be, I don't want you to be alone. I want you to get out there and meet someone and be okay. And I said the same to him. In your next life, whatever that next life looks like, pick someone kind and someone loving. And so I met someone 12 plus weeks ago. We're in week 13. And he's kind and he's loving. And I'm not going to pretend like it's been just smooth and perfect, because it hasn't. There's been bumps. Big ones. like within the first 2 weeks of knowing him, there was one bond, then there was like a week and a half later there was one, and then, but what I knew was that no matter who I would meet, no matter who that person would be, there was going to be something, right? Because no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. And I cared enough about getting to know this person to weather the storms. And I've weathered them, and I'll continue to weather them because I care a lot about this gentleman. And so we have spent time together. We do not live together. He has a house. I have an apartment. He's in the process of working on the house, fixing things up, moving things around, getting things done to move forward to a new future. And so he's here some of the time. He's with his daughter some of the time. He's at his house some of the time. And we do a lot of talking. We've talked, I think, about almost everything. He has his own business, part-time. He just does part-time. And he will be in his 70th year. Come the end of February, he'll roll into his 70th year. He'll turn 69 and roll into his 70th year. So he does this part-time techie business. And I asked him this morning as we were taking a walk, how did you come up with the name of your business? And he told me, and I often wondered, but I just never asked. And so I'm finding out things every day about him. He's finding out things every day about me. But we had a couple times where we went ring shopping, necklace shopping, bracelet shopping, earring shopping. We would look at all kinds of things. Someone asked once, are we looking at wedding bands? We've never looked at wedding bands, not yet. Wedding bands will be something that I will choose, the style. But a couple times we looked at rings and things. And a couple days ago, we got engaged. So he asked me to marry him. It was not an on the beach kind of thing. It actually probably was the most, according to some people, it would be the most unromantic proposal ever. But we were getting ready to go somewhere, and I had my coat on and I had my pocketbook in my lap. And he had his coat on, and he comes out of the other room, and he gets down on his knees in front of me, and he says, will you marry me? And I said yes. So we do not have, there's no date planned. This is not going to be a rushed thing. This part is not going to be a rushed thing. A couple people that I've told, and that he has told, the few people he has told, not many people know, like more of my people know. There's some concern about, well, this got kind of quick. Like my oldest daughter is like, Mom, it's a little quick. Like, we're old. She said, for sure. That's what she said, for sure. I have not even told my son Kenny. Kenny doesn't know. I'll tell him at some point. He's not going to care. But anyway, I'll show you the ring. The lady at the jewelry store said the style is vintage. And she said it would be very hard to find a matching wedding band because it is very unique. It's not a standard where a ring can fit underneath it. And I said to her that didn't matter to me, because we went in that store and looked at all these different rings and all these different necklaces and different earrings and things. I was looking at some rings, and I actually looked at a heart-shaped ring, but it brought back really bad memories from years ago. And I looked at like a square. It was kind of like a square. I'm like, I don't know, that's so standard, you know. And I just saw this one ring, and I said, what is this? And she said, it's vintage style. And I looked at a bunch of other ones, and I looked at this black diamond inside. It sits inside diamonds. It's so pretty. I fell in love with that one too. But anyway, so I said to her, she said, well, she was kind of like, that ring would be hard to match with a wedding band. You would need to have a wedding band made special, and it would be really expensive. I said, that wouldn't matter to me, because an engagement ring would go over on my right hand, and a wedding band would go on my left hand. And she said, okay, then you don't need to worry about it. So that's what we were talking about, all different, you know, kinds of rings, the way they're made, all that stuff. We were talking about Facebook dating. She told me a little story of her own that didn't go quite so good, but a real sweet woman. So we tossed around some marriage ideas, definitely not this year, but into 2025. Definitely not before May, because I'm here. This is my home until May 31st, 2025. And depending on how things go with houses and house prices and mortgage rates and the demand for houses and, you know, overbidding and all that, I may be here another year. We may be here another year. He may move in and be here another year. So, but we did toss around some ideas. He said we could go to Vegas. I've never been to Las Vegas. I said we could have an Elvis wedding. I'm not a big Elvis fan. I never was. We talked about a beach, ocean wedding, sunrise, barefoot. Black dress pants for him, and a nice shirt, and something flowy, something pastel, light, airy, colored for me. Maybe April, off season, when things are cheaper. Once you get into Memorial Day or close to it, all the hotels are like crazy. And so, but it's not going to be for a while. A lot's happening right now for him. A lot of change here for me. And I can tell you that this year, 2024, I say at the beginning of every year, this is my year. But I never know what I mean by that. Like I say it, but what do I mean? What is supposed to happen to me, or for me, or with me during this year? And in the beginning of 2024, when I said, this is going to be my year, I said it with the intent that Sky was going to get better. Yeah. But he didn't, and he passed away. So this was my year to mourn and grieve and lose my greatest teacher. It was my year to spend months alone, to learn about being alone, to figure things out, to get everything done on my own, without family's help, with the support of you guys, constantly telling me, I'm going to be okay, I can do this. And then 6 months into being alone, making the decision to see who was out there. I'm over 65, widowed, on my own, one income. What does that look like for a potential relationship? Well, what I found out was, through talking with a lot of women, a lot of widows, a lot of women that have gone through divorce and later in life, and it's happening more and more, what they're finding, what they're seeing. They're seeing a lot of situations where men do not want to commit. They're seeing situations where they don't want to commit. Some, they're fine with a coffee or a lunch and, something casual and watch a movie together, whatever. There's a few that I've spoke with who are looking for a long-term relationship, marriage. And then there are some that don't want any relationship at all. They had their person and that person was it. I've talked to women who've said that about how the dating market is in 2024 with how things have changed back from in the day, when we were dating. And how different it all is. For us here, I fully support myself financially here on my own. The man that I'm engaged to does not financially support me in any way, shape, or form. He supports his house and his situation, and I support myself. And I've done that since Sky passed away. So I'm now 9 months or so into supporting myself. 10 months? 10 months? Yeah. And that's what I'm doing. That's my choice. There's been offers of help and I've turned them down because it's important for me to know that I can keep my place going on my own. So if we go out somewhere where there's tickets involved, he'll buy them one time, I'll buy them one time. If it's a case of like going down to the ocean, he paid for the hotel, I covered food and gas. And so there's a lot of give and take. It's a 50-50. And we talk about what we would want to do, where we would want to go, if anywhere. Mostly it's watching movies, doing meditation, taking a lot of walks. Tea meditation, I bought the meditation tea set. That was my choice. I brought it up, I suggested it. I wanted to try this tea meditation. It's an amazing way to connect with your partner. The tea set is so beautiful. It's in one of my other videos. And we did tea meditation last night before we sat meditation. And so what I did was the teapot holds 2 full cups of water, and I put 2 tea bags in the water, put it in the microwave for 3 minutes, get it nice and hot, put it in the teapot, and then add a little bit of sugar, just 2 little teeny spoons, and then we sit at our meditation spots on our cushions, our zapus, and have our tea, and the cups are just enough that you can hold in your hand like this and warm your hands, and we face each other and we talk about things that are important to us, things that are happening, feelings that we're having. It's just a very quiet, calming time before we actually turn and do our actual meditation for 10 to 15 minutes. So there's enough tea in the pot for each of us to have 3 little cups. And so we do that. We might go in the kitchen and make sandwiches together or something like that. He is out doing painting classes and things like that. I am a support system for him. He is a support system for me. It's a very different kind of relationship, a lot like what I had with Sky, and I'm grateful. I swear Sky sent him. It's like Sky picked him up and said, hey, you need to go right over here. There's a woman over here who needs you. So like Sky was like, go, go, go. Honest to God. He's continuing every day to teach me Tai Chi. He's helping me with just standing on one foot. As a 60, and women who are in their 60s should be able to stand on one foot for 20 seconds without tipping over. I'm up to close to a minute, and it's for my balance so that I don't fall as an older woman. And then he's also teaching me to do the hug the tree, where so that your arms tone and your legs tone. We do a lot of healthy eating and a lot of water drinking. A lot of interesting things on television. Gaia, we watch a lot of Gaia. But then we also watch these really corny movies. We watched one the other night called Eulogy. It was hilarious. If you can find it, watch it. It's Eulogy. It's about a family coming together because their father passed away. But at the end, they find out the father. Oh, I won't tell you because it would spoil it. But Eulogy. If you want to like, and it's got great actors and actresses in it. But it's called Eulogy. So, like I said, we don't have. There's nothing. There's no. And when we get married, there is not going to be anyone there except him and I, and the officiant. So, if we would get married here in this state, it would be whatever two witnesses could be, like in the courthouse or whatever. Or my old friend, I would ask to be as a witness if I'm here in Pennsylvania. In some of the other states, you don't need a witness. Like Virginia, you don't need a witness, and I believe Maryland, you don't need a witness. So we've thrown a couple ideas around. We'd like to get a house, 1 floor, 2 bedrooms, 1.5 baths. Thinking about our ages and getting older, thinking 10 years down the road, thinking stairs, steps, thinking mobility, thinking open spaces, especially after taking care of Sky and what I learned there, and working in the hospital and what I learned there, and working for Beata Senior Care and what I learned there. So that's what we're looking at. We've talked with a realtor friend of mine about this is what we'll look for in the coming year, in the new year. I've got 6 months left here. I'm 6 months into this lease. Like, I don't understand where time is going. And that's the thing with anyone thinking, wow, that was really fast. They really moved fast. Time is a concept. Sky said that to me all the time. Why do people put such an emphasis on time when there's no such thing as yesterday or tomorrow or next year or even today? It's just right now. Like, time is just a concept. And he wrote this little thing that's hanging on the refrigerator. It says something like, does rain have a purpose? No, rain does not have a purpose. We assign it a purpose. Let's just be like rain. Like, we don't need to have a purpose. And so today I sat and I went on his notes on his iPad and I read more of his writings. And then I took the walk and I saw the lilac flower. I saw a flower on a bush in November in Pennsylvania. That shouldn't be there. That to me is a sign of love and moving forward. That's his sign of saying, go ahead, you got this. I'm happy. I love you. So I wanted to share that news with you. I didn't want it to be a 2-minute, hey, by the way, I got engaged. This is bigger. You guys have been with me through so much. So this is a step in my life. I miss Sky so much. I miss his wisdom, his wit. I miss his silence sometimes, just his silence. When I walk the lake, he's there in every part of it. I put ashes in the lake, I put ashes in the grass, I put ashes around the lilac bush. And so I wanted to share this as for what it is, this whole big thing. the next step in my path. And I'm okay. I'm good. There's been a lot, you know. There's sickness and death and being alone and figuring it out and meeting someone and contentment and love and engagement, and onto what's next. But right now, living life. So I'm going to go at 30 minutes, and I won't do it anymore today, but tomorrow I want to get back to like my regular video. I've got a bunch of gem arts to show you. I want to fill you in on what I got from Temu, what is coming. Got a bunch of stuff on order coming in through. Excuse me. And there was a couple other things. Oh, yeah, I'm getting an ornament from the funeral home. They're doing ornaments with each person's name etched in that they've handled the funeral services for this year. And so they're going to mail me the ornament. I'll show you that when it gets here. But there's a whole lot I want to fill you in on, like what's going on, like the regular stuff. And I'll do that tomorrow. Yeah. We'll get back to the regularly scheduled program tomorrow. I just needed a couple of days to kind of get all this figured out and see how I wanted to present this without just saying, oh, by the way, I got engaged. And so it took me a couple of days to kind of wrap my head around this. I kept going journey. It's like, it's not a journey, it's a path. It's just such a path. So I threw that, I made those couple changes. So I'm going to go. Thank you for being with me. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. And I'm going to go over to Messenger, catch up with everybody now that I feel like my head is on a little bit straighter than what it had been. And my ring, this is a size 7 and I wear a size 5 because I have tiny little hands because I'm a tiny little girl. And so the lady at the jewelry store had said to him that it would take 2 weeks to get it sized, and I wouldn't want it gone for 2 weeks. So I'm going to call some local mom and pop jewelry stores and see if there's anybody who could size it same day. But she told him to order these coil ring sizers from Amazon. And so that's what I have on the back. It's just a clear, like a coil, and you just wrap it around the back of the ring, and it made it a size 5. So at some point, if I can find a solo owned, not a chain jewelry store, but a solo owned store where someone can size it for me same day, I'll take it there and get it sized wherever that might be. So that's it. There you have it. There's my news. Thank you for being with me, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.